More than a decade after it first aired, Parks and Recreation continues to be one of the most beloved and endlessly rewatchable sitcoms ever made. Fans still share clips, memes, and quotes from the show daily, proof that Pawnee's quirky citizens have left an enduring mark on pop culture. While most remember Parks and Rec for its heartwarming storylines and unforgettable moments, like Leslie Knope's overzealous ambition, Andy Dwyer's boundless enthusiasm, or April Leggate's deadpan chaos, one episode, in particular, stands out for a completely different reason. Season 3's Andy and April's Fancy Party is best known as the surprise wedding episode that cemented Andy and April as one of sitcom history's most iconic couples. Yet, before the wedding even begins, the cold open delivers a shock that's both hilarious and horrifying, a scene so outrageous that it remains one of the most disturbing and unforgettable openings in sitcom history. Ron Swanson's pain threshold reaches new heights. By season 3, Parks and Recreation had truly hit its stride. The once shaky first season gave way to sharp writing and a perfect ensemble dynamic, where every character, from Leslie and Ben to Donna and Jerry, had a role to play. But the cold open of Andy and April's Fancy Party belonged entirely to Ron Swanson, played with stoic brilliance by Nick Offerman. The scene begins innocently enough. The Parks Department gathers for another routine meeting, with Ben Wyatt discussing city updates. Suddenly, Ron interrupts with a low groan, wincing in pain from what he describes as a slight toothache. When Ben suggests he see a dentist, Ron dismisses the idea with his usual stubborn pride. Moments later, to everyone's horror, he calmly takes out a pair of pliers and appears to extract his own tooth right there at the conference table. The reactions are priceless. Ben bolts for the exit, Tom faints on the spot, and the rest of the team scatters in shock. Only Leslie stands frozen, unable to process what she's just seen. Then, in true Ron fashion, he confesses in a deadpan interview moment that his dentist had already removed the tooth the previous day. The stunt, he explains, was just to demonstrate to his co-workers that he's capable of withstanding a tremendous amount of pain. A perfect reflection of Ron's character. The brilliance of this scene lies in how perfectly it encapsulates Ron Swanson's duality. On the surface, he's the embodiment of self-reliance, rugged, emotionless, and utterly opposed to authority. It's entirely believable that he'd pull his own tooth out just to avoid a professional. But beneath that tough exterior, Ron's prank reveals a playful streak, a subtle need to maintain his mythic image while secretly enjoying the chaos he causes. Throughout Parks and Rec, Ron's contradictions make him one of television's most layered comedic characters. He despises government, yet works within it. He avoids emotional displays, but quietly mentors those around him, particularly Leslie, Andy, and April. Even this disturbing prank fits into that dynamic. It's an absurd act of dominance that ends up being purely theatrical. A sitcom masterclass in shock and heart. The rest of Andy and April's Fancy Party shifts from shock humor to heartfelt storytelling. The titular event turns out not to be a dinner party at all, but a spontaneous wedding between April Leggate and Andy Dwyer after only a month of dating. The entire Parks Department is caught off guard, especially Leslie, who frantically tries and fails to stop it. The episode balances humor and sincerity beautifully. April and Andy's wedding, though impulsive, is deeply emotional, showcasing the show's ability to blend absurd comedy with genuine warmth. Ron's bizarre tooth-pulling stunt feels like the perfect tonal setup for an episode that thrives on the unpredictable and the heartfelt. By the end, Leslie learns to accept her friend's unconventional happiness, Ben decides to stay in Pawnee, and the Parks Department family grows a little closer, all while viewers are still recovering from one of the most shocking cold opens in sitcom history. Why the scene endures. The cold open from Andy and April's Fancy Party remains unforgettable because it's pure Parks and Recreation, a mix of absurd physical comedy, deadpan humor, and character-driven brilliance. It's disturbing enough to make viewers wince, yet so perfectly in tune with Ron's persona that it becomes comedic genius. 14 years later, fans still share the clip as a reminder of just how far the series was willing to go for a laugh, and how Nick Offerman's masterful performance turned even the most grotesque gag into a moment of comedy gold. With one pair of pliers and a straight face, Ron Swanson created one of the most iconic cold opens ever seen on television, a testament to Parks and Recreation's fearless humor and its enduring place in sitcom history.